Hi there, my name is Sarah and I am the owner and founder of Online Social Butterfly. Today I wanted to do a quick video to share with you what I've learned from being in business for 11 years. So this month, March 2022, I will have been in business for 11 years, which seems unbelievable and ridiculous all at the same time. So I guess if you look at my business now, I look like I've got things kind of together, which I'll be honest is a complete ruse from behind the scenes. But I wanted to share what mistakes that I have made if I go back over time. And some of the things that I would love to share in terms of learning that you could maybe benefit from. So in the early days in my business, I said yes to everything. If someone asked me to do it, I'd probably spend hours and hours learning something and then saying yes to it. And it took me probably 2 or 3 years to work out what my core offering was going to be, which was social media management in those days. And on that road, I learned a lot of things that I didn't want to do. So I wasn't clear about what it was that I was offering, which is okay, I think, in the early days to try different things. But it would be better to have some idea when you're starting out. I had zero. The other thing that I did really badly was I didn't know who I wanted to work with. And considering that my background is in marketing, I feel like I should have known this a bit better. And I remember, I'd been in business a few months. I didn't have a name or anything. And someone had referred like a friend of a friend of a friend. And I went and met with these two gentlemen in the city. And I live quite a way out of the city at a coffee shop. And it was a pick my brains meeting, which I would never attend now, but, early days. And I spent an hour and they definitely picked my brains for free. And then at the end of that meeting, they said, could I please send them a schedule of what it is that I did and how I did it? So if you think about that, I'm basically giving away everything in terms of my business assets. And after I got home from that meeting, my husband was home and I had a chat to him about it because I was a bit like, oh, that was awful. And he was really more finely tuned into what my business should be than I was. And he was like, they are not your people. You do not want to work with people like that. You should tell them that you're booked out or tell them that you've already got a client in their category and you can't take them on as a client. And he was 100% right. But because I was so early in my business, I wanted to say yes to everyone. And so I said no to them because I had such strong instincts at the time. But it was really, really hard because I didn't know who I wanted to work with. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so it was no wonder I was attracting all these randoms that didn't really have a good offering. As the years went on, I built a really solid business on social media management for clients. But one of the big mistakes that I made was becoming complacent with a client. So I had a client for like 2 years and I let their contract lapse. So I had them on 6-month retainer contracts. And as a result, she gave me 1 month's notice that she was cancelling her service. And that nearly sent me under because she was such a big client to me. And I was kind of devastated and angry all at the same time, mostly angry with myself because I hadn't followed my own systems and I put myself in a position where I was really vulnerable to one client's whims. And so that's a really tough lesson to learn and a really hard financial lesson to bounce back from. So definitely something that I would want you to keep in mind is make sure you follow your processes and make sure you don't let one client become so large that losing them can topple your business, because that's really hard to face. And the other thing that I did that I'm mortified to share this, I'm going to share it because that must mean there's a lesson for you in it. I wanted to turn my business into an online business and have online courses for years, like years and years and years. And I only started right before COVID in 2020 was the first, I launched in February, my first online course. But I probably sat on it for 5 years. And the question is why? I was a really successful trainer. I knew that people loved my workshops. What was holding me back from that? And I guess my biggest regret is that I didn't do it sooner and that I didn't kind of trust myself and back myself that I had the skills. And one of the things that I really genuinely struggled with was being visible. So whilst everybody in Perth knew me, people would come to my workshops and courses and knew that I was brilliant and I felt like I was like a bit of a local rock star. Once you put yourself online, you're swimming in a much bigger pool and it suddenly becomes terrifying that what if people think I'm rubbish? What if I'm no good at this? What if they hate my Australian accent? There's all this stuff that comes up that held me back for probably 5 years. So when you see me now and you think, gosh, she's got it all together, she's got all these online courses, she does lots of digital delivery, please know that I held myself back for years because I was afraid of being visible and afraid that people would think I was rubbish. So that's been a really fun lesson to have wasted so much energy on over the years. And the funny thing was, once I launched that first online course, it was like someone had unleashed the floodgates and I just had so many courses in me and I was like, nothing's going to hold me back now. So some really interesting lessons that I've learned along the way. And I think whilst I love my business now and I love the direction it's heading in, I feel like I've got this tribe of people that are my audience and I love lots of things that I do and I get to try new fun stuff and work with my hubby. There have been some really big bumps in the road and I think that we don't talk about those as much. So we always want to look like we've got this really good, viable business. So from the outside looking in, everything always looks rosy, but in the truth, I've weathered some really hard times in my business. I've had things going on in my personal life that have unbalanced and destabilized my business. I've had times when I've struggled so much with cash flow. And there are so many things that go on. And I think one of my biggest regrets is not being transparent, because what I've learned now about having a very much digital-based business is that the more I show up as myself, so the more I'm visible and people get to see who I am and understand who I am. And I know that the more people see me, the more I give them permission to show up as themselves. So the fact that I held myself back means that I didn't believe in myself and I didn't give you a chance to believe in yourself. And I kind of regret that, because my dream and what my business really represents is that I want women to build their empire using digital tools. And I believe so strongly in women as business owners. And I believe that as women, when we have successful businesses and we have better finances, we change our lives, we change our family, we change our community. Those are my passions and underlying beliefs as to why I want to work with women. And so the fact that I held myself back, I wonder how many women missed out on the opportunity of getting my knowledge and allowing them to grow their business much sooner. So that is my regret. And I hope the lesson in that for you is show up now and start to offer something, because people are looking for whatever it is that you're selling, and why would it not be you? So that's my little lesson from 11 years in business with some very transparent and honest shares. I hope that you've enjoyed listening to it. Thanks so much.